Hi, I'm Elizabeth Van Tassel from ElizabethVanTasselresilience.com. I write fantasy stories for tweens and teens, and I often get asked who are my favorite contemporary authors that I might recommend to a parent or to my teenage friends, that maybe they haven't heard of, and that are featuring great adventures. I'm so excited to share them from my favorite treasure box right here today just for you. So let's see who's in there first. Oh, this one's really good. Actually, she's got two books. This one is S.E. Grove, and she has written The Glass Sentence and The Golden Specific. Oh, I loved these books. You'll notice the dust jacket is missing off of this book. Could it be that one of my sons has absconded with it and run away? Indeed. I don't want you to be put off by the size. They are thick. And this is a read up, in terms of vocabulary, but it's also in terms of adventure. I mean, she's so descriptive. She's so wonderful and creative with twisting history, and it's as if the world's history has broken apart. All different parts of the world, each different section of the world is in a different time, and so different things are going on. It's frozen in time in one area, and another area it's Boston in the 1800s, and there's the plague going on in another area. It's just crazy. Oh, these are just such great reads. Okay, let's see who's in here next. It's Lissa Evans. Oh, I just can't wait to tell you about this. Have you met Horton yet? Horton is an extra short guy, but he's extra great on magic. And these little books, in fact, I couldn't even find the first book because my other son has run off with it. Have you noticed a trend, by the way? They talk about illusions and magic, and it's this little boy moves to a small town, and he's kind of lonely, and he ends up following his family's legacy in the magic business. And in the first book, they solve a great mystery. The second book is a completely different mystery, but the same, great reading on magic and intrigue, really great fast pace. And you can notice this one's a little thinner, so it's, I think, an easier read, kind of a moderate read in terms of vocabulary. And I just wanted to make sure you had met Horton. He's a lot of fun. I wonder what's in here next. Let's find out. Oh, it's Ted Bell. He's written a great series that starts with the book Nick of Time. So since this takes place during the very beginnings of World War II, this little island right off of Britain is a really central location where I'm sure in real history there were submarines going by, and Nazis starting to invade, and a lot of the war may have been unspokenly going on in this area as well as all of Europe. And so this young boy gets wrapped up in what's going on right around his house, but he finds this crate, and inside the crate is a very, very magical thing that enables time transport and involves him with pirates and all. It's a good thing he can sail, because he is going to use those navigation skills a lot. I love the adventure. I love that I get to meet historical characters, again, like Winston Churchill, or different people that were important both in that World War time, and then even going all the way back to Blackbeard, and so much adventure in one little story. There's another one that follows this. I really, really enjoyed it, and if you've got a young boy that's hungry for adventure, or a girl there's also a great girl character in this, and so you'll find that they get to nibble on a little history appetizer while they have a really big adventure. I hope they enjoy it. I wonder what's in there now. Let's check. Ooh, really, really good one. William Joyce and Laura Geringer, Nicholas St. North. This is the Guardian series. It was also made into a movie, and it is such a clever idea. This is what I would call not quite a fractured fairy tale, but definitely fractured fables, in that they take a traditional story like Santa Claus or the Easter Bunny, or they've got one for the Tooth Fairy, and for, when you go to sleep, the sleepy guy. Taking those traditional stories and just going a completely different way with it. In case you've seen the movie, I wanted you to think about the books, because not only are there just the most gorgeous illustrations, because William Joyce is so talented and has been working in that arena for so many years, but also just the stories captivated my boys, and both of them have been able to read it. I have a teenager and a tween ager, I guess, and they loved how crazy and adventurous, Saint Nick is just nothing like the fluffy guy we've all thought he was over the years. And the Easter Bunny is so brave and from Australia and wields his stick, to defend us. So, all right, let's go see who's next. Oh, Gail Carson Levine. Boy, if I could have somebody to dinner, I would love to have her over to dinner and thank her for wonderful stories like Ella Enchanted. Now, this is a classic by now, kind of. I'm sure your daughters may have read it and seen the movie, which is really, really funny. Another fable that's been turned a completely different direction. But I didn't know if you knew about her series, A Tale of Two Castles. And also the second one is called Stolen Magic. And this is all about a young girl who charms her way in using kind of her abilities as an actress to get friendly and work with a dragon. And this is no normal dragon. It's a talking dragon. It interacts with people. It doesn't want to eat the people. And, I gotta tell you, I have been converted to a dragon person after this. I felt like I had slept next to it, that I had touched its scales and felt the texture of them, and that I had gone on an adventure first as a young scared girl who grows up a great deal and learns to value her skills. So there's a very strong role model for girls in this. And the second one, just another great adventure from Gail Carson Levine, who is such a talented writer. And I wanted to showcase these so that if you have a girl in your life and you're tired of stereotypes, this really breaks those stereotypes open. A little bit of history, but mostly adventure and fantasy and fairy tales going in a new way. All right, let's see what the next adventure holds. Oh, Elizabeth Hayden. She's written The Floating Island, The Thief Queen's Daughter, and there's some other parts of this, Dragon's Lair, Tree of Water. They are really, really well written and such great adventures for even into the teen years. So I'd say kind of middle grade on up. The main character, Ben, is this really small guy, and he has this magical lens that he can look through and see what is really happening in a situation. It's almost like the truth. And I think that there are so many great lessons to be learned in these books about adventures. Now, there are a few ghosts and things in the second book, and so if you're put off by that, I would, maybe scoot through those scenes. But the other parts of it are so compelling and so amazing and interesting. I have to mention her. I read the whole series. I really enjoyed all of it. I hope more comes from this author. I know she's writing different kinds of books now, but this is an author that should not be left on the side table. Okay, I can't wait to see what's next. Oh, it's Jessica Day George. Have you read Tuesdays at the Castle, Wednesdays in the Tower, and there's Thursdays with the Crown as well? Princess Celie gets to actually talk to Castle Glower, and the castle itself is alive. The rooms change. There's scenes where there used to be a hallway she could run down, and the hallway is gone. She's cataloging what does the inside of the castle look like. And as she does that, she uncovers an adventure. It's a fantasy that goes in a completely different direction since the castle is the main character. There's a wonderful little kind of a griffin that proceeds through the rest of the adventures, and they follow that and try and figure out the history of, how did this castle come alive? How were there magicians involved? Were there good forces and bad forces? It's a really smart castle, and I loved the idea of that kind of a twist. And I'll tell you, the plot is just as good as the actual writing and as the concept. And it's an easier read, I'd say, for if you have an advanced 8 or 9-year-old or somebody in middle grade. They're gonna just love it and probably breeze right through the entire collection. And it is adventurous, but won't give any nightmares. So that is refreshing. I cannot wait to see what's coming next. Polly Schulman. Oh, talk about a creative person. She has written, her first book is called The Grimm Legacy. This is the second book, and it's called The Wells Bequest. So let me take you through her adventures. Wow, she's amazing. She was a librarian in real life, and she came with this amazing idea. What if there was a library for everything that the Grimm brothers, who wrote all the famous fairy tales like Cinderella and Red Riding Hood and whatever else, what if those objects were kept somewhere and you could check them out? What if there were flying boots that made you put them on and you could fly? What if there really was a mirror on the wall that you could ask questions of? Cinderella's slippers, Can you imagine being in the room with these objects? She did, and created a whole enticing, twisting, crazy plot around it where the kids have to solve a crime, solve a mystery about it. And the second one here, The Wells Bequest, H.G. Wells, time travel, the time machine, it really exists. And they're able to go just some amazing places. I hope your kids enjoy these. I think middle grade through high school years would be just fine with these. And boys and girls. Now there is a tiny romance element to it, so just know that going in you may get a question about kissing. But other than that, it is just so great with adventure, such a witty idea. I really want to have Polly over for dinner or tea or something, because she must be an amazing person. All right, we've got a couple more here. Let's see what's going on. Caroline Carlson. Oh, this is called part of the Magic Marks the Spot series, the very nearly honorable League of Pirates. You can tell right from the start here that it is very, very clever. And this young girl who has been raised in a very high society wants nothing to do with it and wants to be a pirate, wants to be honorable about it. And it is, instead she gets sent off to a finishing school, and it is just packed full of humor. But I gotta tell you, my favorite character is this little kind of gargoyle thing that is magically alive, and she takes it with her on the adventures, and there's a whole series based on this, again with the pirates. Maybe I like pirates, I guess, but what I really love is a great adventure and a creative twist on it. Again, a good, strong female character, and she's smart, she's clever, and she is not going to give up her dream. So I kind of like the idea of chasing a dream, and I think your kids, possibly both boys and girls, and a younger audience is just fine with this. If they're an advanced reader, this is going to be a good one for them, especially for girls. Okay, let's see what's next. I've saved a really special one for last. He's very well known. I hope it's in here. Let's take a look. Yes, Peter Larrange's, and he has this 7 Wonders series. They are amazing. This one is called The Curse of the King, and there's much earlier books as well to start with. This is, Raiders of the Lost Ark meets kind of Greek mythology, and there's a little bit of, there's some history in each one, mostly different myths that have to be explored because there are these orbs, and they go into the possible history of Atlantis and just have this crazy adventure based on it. The thing I love about him, and what I wanted to bring up, was his character development. His characters are so distinctive and enjoyable, and they give you twists and turns that you didn't expect, just like a real teenager would. And they're kidnapped, and they have this strange curse where they are these children of Atlantis, and they have to find these orbs and reunite them, or else all kinds of destruction and havoc is going to be wreaked on the world, and both the world today and maybe also in the past. So it's a great mystery. It's a nice series, really long series, and he's had a lot of notoriety about it, but some middle grade families don't know to think about this for their boys and for girls. And so if you've got a history buff, or mainly they just want to have a really exciting read, this will be good for that. Now, each of them has various monsters and some scary elements. So if you have a sensitive reader, I would probably wait until they're in middle grade to start them. If they are not that sensitive, go for it. I think they could have a lot of fun with these adventures, and even pretty young, about 10 years old. And I know families that have read it younger, so I just enjoyed this tour through some of my favorite authors, some that I just want to make sure you didn't miss, and that both your boys and girls that are excellent readers will just take off with adventure. It's so important to have great adventure, and because it helps equip them for real life. If they, without getting hurt or falling off a cliff or flying in flying boots, or it just helps them dream a little bigger in life. For more information about my writing or about living a resilient life, please come visit me at ElizabethVanTasselresilience.com. I'd love to see you there. Sign up to be part of my team as we get ready for exciting things.